I worked for a company called Interstate Equipment. Interstate actually is Interstate Finishes. And at that time, we were in the paint and body shop business. And our big competitor here was Matto's company, who I'm sure is still in business. And they were getting all of the DuPont business, and we were getting what was left. So when the Beltway was built, all of the car dealerships started to explode and move to the suburbs. And that's when they were all downtown, and they all moved out in groups around the Beltway. Believe it or not, when I look out here and I see some of the equipment that you have, I hate to tell you how we put the first lift in. Anybody want to guess? How about a long handle shovel down in a hole, a single post lift until you got as far as you wanted? That's how we got started.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah. Well, good time is coming here in a minute. So anyway, in 1970, I decided I wanted to be in business for myself. Now, some of you may have that fire in the belly one day, and if you do, God bless you. But anyway, I wanted to be in business for myself. So I had no money, or I had a few dollars, but not much, and I started B&R Associates in 1970. Now, how many of you know what B&R stands for? Not many of you. Okay. B&R Associates was formed in 1970 by Bart Twiford and Rex Davis. Rex Davis owned Chesapeake Petroleum. He and I had been big competitors when I was with Interstate, but we were always good friends. So we partnered together and started B&R Associates in 1970. I later on bought him out. Now, Tom mentioned a while ago C&T equipment. If you ever wondered what that was about, that was Chesapeake. Rex Davis was the owner of Chesapeake Petroleum. And C&T was Chesapeake and Twiford. So that's where C&T came from. Now, it's hot out here, but I do have a couple of tales I got to tell you. I'll tell you the one about Gene first.
One?
Yeah. We tried a lot of different things in the equipment business, and my philosophy was we can do anything. If somebody else can do it, we can do it. But one of our ventures was in the pump and tank business. And Gene was the main guy in the pump and tank business. We had a job down at Point Lookout, Maryland. Now, if you don't know where that is, it's all the way down on the tip of the Potomac River. And there was a marina there, and we had a job to put in a gasoline tank. Now, I don't know whether you ever do any of that tank work anymore. I hope you don't. But anyway, what we had to do is we had to dig a big hole, put the tank in there, a fiberglass tank, and fill it with water. Otherwise, it was right there at sea level and it would pop back up. They wouldn't let us do it. They forced us to put that tank in, and sure enough, we got it all piped up. First high tide, guess what? Popped up out of the ground. Now what do? We had to cut a hole in the end of that tank, big 1,000-gallon tank, cut a hole in that fiberglass tank, crawl in the hole, and patch that. He did, and I did. That was just one of the things that happened. A couple of other things happened. I see some of you do a lot of work at Metro. Now, you won't believe this, but the truth of the matter is, we were at Metro. I don't know, I think it was the one on 13th Street down, the old one on 13th Street, using the jackhammer. The jackhammer, all of a sudden, the jackhammer stopped. And what's going on? We got to fix this jackhammer. So we followed the hose outside. Guess what? Somebody stole the compressor. Absolutely true. Somebody stole the compressor. Some other funny things happened along the way that I hope never happened to you. As I said, my philosophy was that we can do anything. So we started getting in the paint booth business. And most of you, I'm assuming that American Service Center is still in place in Arlington. I hope their body shop is still in the same place. They had an old paint booth in there which we took out, and we put in one of the first blow-therm paint booths that had ever been installed here in town. And we didn't have a crew and a staff like we do now, so we just had to play it by ear. I had a couple of guys come in out of town that had some experience, so now we got to run the ductwork up through the roof. The guy's up there, he's having trouble cutting a hole in the roof. He took a torch and started burning a hole in it. You know what's coming next, don't you? All of that paint dust, all of that accumulation of paint dust over 10 years, 20 years, all started catching on fire. Can you imagine 10 fire trucks in behind American Service Center on that little street there? And all I could think of is, man, it's going to burn down this whole row of buildings. How am I going to do? What am I going to do with that? The good news is we got out of it without too much of a problem. I do want to tell you one other thing. Particularly for those of you that are young, and I see a lot of young faces here, a lot of energy, a lot of energy that I wish I had. But one day a young kid, came walking in the door and was looking for a job. And I said, well, what do you want to do? He said, I want to be a mechanic. I said, okay. So we didn't have much of a training program then. I'm not sure what you have now, but anyway, this kid hung on. He swept floors. He did whatever needed to be done. And then it finally got to the point where we put him in a truck. And I want to tell you, this brand new truck would go to shame with the way his old truck looked. I mean, there never was a speckle in that truck, ever. So he kept working hard, always showed up on time, always showed up in a clean uniform. And if you haven't guessed who it is right now, Buck. How many years ago was that, Buck?
33.
33. So if you want to know what your future with B&R Associates is, it can be anything you make it. If you work hard, you do the right thing, you show up on time, you're proud of what you do, you're proud of what yourself. But if you're proud of yourself, you can go anywhere you want. Any one of you can do anything you really want to do with the right attitude and the right commitment. And it makes me proud to stand here and see the group that grew from when I started as a one-man band, just me, myself, and a desk and a chair in a barred closet in 1970. So enjoy yourself. Have a happy Memorial Day. It's been a pleasure being here.
Thank you, Bart.